Hey y'all, the Lady Empath 1111 guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to Queen of Kings Tarot, child. Where behind every king is his queen. That is us, the Divine Feminine. Of course, our kings are the Divine Masculine. Man, y'all gonna have to excuse my voice. I have been live on TikTok every day this week, and I've been working, and I've been doing personal readings. Child, your girl voice is tired, okay? Woo, child, my voice is tired. I gotta go get through these readings though. One more live in the morning, and then I'm resting for the weekend, child. I hope the king got something planned, child. Let's get into this weekend energy, child. New moon in Cancer, y'all. So we're still in the new moon energy. So this is gonna be a you versus them, but I'm gonna put a little different spin on it, right? I heard God say do it a little different way this time. So we're going to get into it. We're going to see what's going on in the energy of you and your person at this time in the weekend. Now, if you're single, then again, take it how it resonates. This could be someone from your past, present, or your future. Likely, if you're watching me, though, you already got a boo or somebody in mind, child. All right, let's get into the energy, guys. So I want to look at your energy first as the Divine Feminine. I want to get 3 cards for you, but we're going to shuffle them out. 111 on the timer. Ooh, okay. We got 1 card out for you, Divine Feminine. It's talking. All right. What else for the Divine Feminine spirit? Okay. Oh, you want to talk higher level of commitment, or you ready to walk away? Wow. Wow. Come on, girl. Dang, queen. Okay, we got talking, engagement ring, or cutting ties. Damn, somebody giving ultimatums this weekend is what I heard. Like, I don't know. Like, you really want your person to have a real conversation, child. This thing says awaiting messages, text, call, email about what we doing here, though. Like, that's what I'm hearing. Like, you really wanting to have a conversation about what it is that you're doing. You know, not everyone is on the engagement train, but everybody is on the intentional train is what I just heard, right? So this definitely appears to be someone who you want a higher level of commitment. You want a partnership. You want union. Or you're ready to move on if you cannot receive what you want. I can't make it up. It says receive what you need, progress, or cut ties. That's your energy. What's going on with the king, child? What is going on with the Divine Masculine? Okay. Well, somebody finna call your bluff, child. Y'all think about the same damn thing. Girl, we got wedding ring came out. Hold on. Give me 2 more. This weekend energy is going to be a little interesting, y'all, because, you know, the new moon in Cancer is about a healing of the heart, y'all. That's what's taking place. Yeah. Karmic relationships. I feel like this is the Divine Masculine who now understands the difference between what's real and what's fake. We're going to get into it. I heard real news, fake news, right? Because there is somebody here who now is beginning to change their perception when it comes to commitment, union, or soul connections, whereas it was something going on in the past, right? Maybe they were someone who's used to karmic relationships. Somebody could like sugar cookies. Yeah, we got a new phase. Ooh, come on. They both came out together. I'm going to take both of them. One flipped up and one came out. And it's honestly the same card because it's death and then the Phoenix card. So this is definitely about an ending in order to renew, grow, and move forward. Ooh, this is some good energy, y'all. Come on. Well. You do tell. 333 on the timer, child. Let's get into the tarot. Y'all, okay, Divine Feminine. All right, I just saw the 8 of Swords as I was shuffling. I mean, the 8 of Wands. I'm sorry, that was the 8 of Wands. So, you ready. And your person looks like they're ready as well, though. But I do feel like this is someone who's now putting an ending to karmic relationships, too, though, because we have the death with karmic relationships coming with the Phoenix card. So this is someone who absolutely wants the same thing you want, y'all. Y'all want the same thing here, y'all. You really do. This is someone who also wants union. They know that this is a soul connection between the two of you guys, and someone is really ready to enter this new phase in their life. Okay. If the Divine Feminine has something to say at this time, what would she say? All right, what would she say? Ooh, okay. Girl. You said it. You said, I know who I am. Girl, we got the Empress with the 6 of Swords in reverse. You said, I know who I am. 444 on the timer. but I need to release this if it's not going anywhere. See, the Six of Swords in reverse is about knowing and understanding when something is becoming an emotional burden, right? Knowing and understanding when something is becoming an emotional burden. And it's something about this union that at some point or currently, again, it has taken a toll on you. Like, I see you kind of sitting back with your legs crossed and everything else around you is fertile. Everything else is abundant, child. Everything else is growing. And you get to a point in your divine union where you will say, look, if everything attached to me wins, right? That's what I'm hearing. Who is that? Everything attached to me wins. Is that Jacqueline Carr? I can't remember who sings that song. Someone's name could be Jacqueline, right? I think it's a Jacqueline Carr. Everything attached to me wins. When you know that everything attached to you wins, then you will get to a point where if someone around you is resistant to the change that God is trying to promote, they gotta leave. And whether this is a relationship, y'all, or just you making decisions for yourself in order to transition away from what karmic relationships in order to have a better union within your own life. Again, take it how it resonates. Everybody's not in relationships, right? But we do have to understand you can't get to any type of higher level of commitment until you release, right, whatever is dead concerning karmic relationships in order for something to begin again. So again, we can always fit into the story, y'all. So I read for both energies, singles and in union. Not everyone is in union, right? But somebody over here, you like having real conversations. Y'all, it's crazy because I'm recording this on the day that we did our TikTok live and we talked about the throat chakra. See, you have to understand when your throat chakra is awakened. Why? Because you are the Empress. You're sitting in fertile energy. You speak what it is that you want, and then you just sit back, child, and you allow the transformation. But when you sit back and you saw that this relationship was not transforming, you decided to say, okay, well, then I'm going to have to be the one to change. Right? Let me tell you something. As long as you allow people to keep you in these cycles of looping, then they will. This is about you taking control of the boat, child. You got on the boat, you hired you somebody that knew how to get you up out of the waters, and you moved on, child. Why? We got two boats. This ship has sailed, y'all. This is you moving on. Someone could have a child or be a single mom. I see a mother and a child in this boat, right? But you could be a single mother and you're over here like, look, we need to talk. We need to spend more time together. We need to have a higher level of commitment, or I'm going to have to move on and cut ties. All right, what else we got in the divine feminine? Well, we'll do a back and forth. So what we got on here with the sir? All right, so we got a king. If this king has something to say, what would they say? All right, if this king has something to say, what would they say? Dang, get on the floor. All right, what we got? Ooh, child, the Nine of Swords. Gemini energy. Somebody's been up at night, y'all. Somebody's been up. They think about, woo, at the bottom of the deck, y'all. Woo, come on. Four of Wands, Two of Cups, and the strength, y'all. This is somebody who's been up at night, y'all. God has been dealing with this person in their dreams. This is someone who's up. Someone can have a bedspread with roses or flowers on it. Some of your bedspread could be yellow and blue or red and yellow, right? But I'm seeing a divine masculine who's up at night. They're in their head. They're really beginning to understand what God has been trying to show them. I'm seeing crosses here. So somebody's really understanding what was right in front of them is what I just heard. Wow. Because you were right there by this person's side. This is you, right? Beauty and the Beast. Right? When you needed, this person needed comforting, you were there all the time. See that infinity symbol? All the time. See, there's something about your strength that is unwavering for this divine masculine. This is brought in partnership. Somebody, you could be in a same-sex union. I see two females on this card. It could be same sex. Again, take it how it resonates. But this is someone who now understands what it is that they want, y'all. 11-11, Four of Wands. And it's keeping this person up at night, though. So if this person has something to say to you at this time, they would say that I know I've been closed off to love, Four of Cups, but there's something about the way that you nurture me, the way that you love me, that has now turned my beastly lion energy into someone who is much more compassionate. See, this is someone who was in the Four of Cups energy, but this has been a cycle with this person that's come to the end. That's why the Wheel of Fortune is here. See, sometimes God is always going to spin the wheel in your favor. April 10th could be significant. Someone could be seeing 444. April 4th could be significant. August 4th or April 8th, right? So this is about partnership. I feel like whatever this Nine of Swords energy is, something that got your person to this, though, because we got to understand, you don't get to have this realization, and whether this is through a dream or some type of restless state of being is what I'm hearing, that your person had this realization that you've been there. You've been there to support them. You've been there to tame them. You've been there even when they needed someone to just rest on. Like, you were a resting place for this person. You brought them a lot of joy. You brought them a lot of happiness, a lot of peace. And now this is someone who they up at night because I heard fumbled your heart. Who is that? Trey Songz? This is someone who feels like they fumbled your heart because you were trying to offer this person the best of who you are, but they had headphones on. They weren't paying attention. Like, this is somebody who they absolutely, they were not paying attention. We're going to come back to this in a minute. Let's go on back over here to you, girl. All right, so what else is going on with Divine Feminine? Okay, so you saying, okay, we're going to cut ties and we're going to move on. All right, what else? Ooh, yeah, because someone isn't, see, you weren't seeing what it is. Yeah, the sun. And I saw this at the shuffle, and the High Priestess, woo, at the bottom of the deck with the Three of Cups and the Knight of Cups. Wow. So you got to the point where you were enjoying life for you. See, this Three of Cups, High Priestess in the sun, you living your life like it's golden, child. Living my life like it's golden. Living my life, look, 11:11 on the timer. Girl, you over here living your life like it is golden. You out with your girls, you drinking, you dancing, you partying. Like, somebody, you got a nice ass pink dress. Somebody got a pink dress with a low back cut. That thing is nice, girl. A red dress with your little cleavage showing, child. Like, y'all out having a good time, and your intuition is telling you now that it's time for you to shine. It's my time. Y'all, a lot of music is coming through. I ain't got the music playing right now. And now I'm here. It's my time to shine. It's my time. Who is that? It's my time. It's my time. It's your time. And you feel that, though. Like, you're happy. You feel the excitement in yourself. But let me tell you, when you get to that point of happiness and joy for yourself, you will absolutely cut ties with any and everything that is not on the same frequency as you. You have to get to this point, though, Divine Feminine. This is a part of the journey. If you at this point, kudos. Hand claps to you, right? Because this is the point you need to get to in order to get your person to understand where you're coming from. See, a lot of times we try to be sensitive to the energy because we hear people say, don't push, right? Because you're going to push them away. But you also have to respect your own self, right? Yeah, you don't want to push. You don't want to be anxious, but you also teach people how to treat you. I always say, y'all, balance. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the timer. If you want things to progress and move in your life, you have to find balance. So it's not that you can't say anything. It's just that you don't need to say everything, right? It's about balance. So somebody, you in your winning season, child, Three of Cups and the Empress, 333, right? You over here, you on the seat of your intuition, you following your heart. Somebody could be a teacher. You really are doing what it is that you want for yourself, and God is elevating you. So I heard weightless reality. Like, somebody, you feel like you getting so many signs and synchronicities for the universe, you just in space. Like, it's just weightless. It's a beautiful feeling, y'all, to be that connected to spirit, and it's illuminating and showing you a lot about what you want, about what you desire. See, when you begin to stop and sit back for a few minutes and take the time to see what it is that you want, guess what happens? You change your energy. You begin to be more honest with yourself about what it is that you want. And when you are honest with yourself about what you want, your person will understand she ain't playing. She's ready for something more, or he is ready for something more. And when you did this, guess what happened with your person? Now you got somebody up really considering what it is. What does it mean to be happy, right? What does it mean to come into partnership? Because this is someone who was not open. Why was this person not open? What's the Four of Cups? Because the damn Tower. I can't even shuffle good. The card done flipped out the damn deck. See, this is someone who's had to deal with a lot of change in their life, is what I'm hearing. See, this is trauma. This Tower in this situation is a little different, because what I'm picking up is this is someone who's had to deal with a lot of change in their life. And people who deal with a lot of change as children, when they become adults, they don't like change. They want to maintain consistency because they had no consistency growing up. It's a control mechanism, but it's also trauma response, y'all. You got to understand, someone who is not open to love, especially when they've dealt with these karmic relationships in the past, their biggest fear is going right back to this change. Your person's biggest fear was that things were not going to remain the same. This is what I'm hearing your person say. My biggest fear is that if we come into this union, you're going to change. Everything feels right now. Everything is good now. Hell, if things probably seem too good to be true now. But this is someone who is absolutely, they don't like change. Like, this is trauma. It is like maybe your person grew up in a military home, so they moved a lot. Or maybe your person grew up in poverty and they moved a lot. Like, whatever, like, we changed. I told y'all people, I didn't grow up in poverty, but my mama just couldn't get along with people. We moved every year, y'all. I kid you not, with the lovers at the bottom of the deck. I just saw this. Yeah. The lovers at the bottom of the deck with the 3 of Wands and the 8 of Wands and the Queen of Swords. See, when you got in this Queen of Swords energy, child, hold on. I'm getting too many messages. Let me finish talking. I say this to say because we have to understand the trauma of people. Y'all, like, I'm a teacher, right? So even though I'm a reader, I also like to teach you guys the lessons so that you will understand. You can go to any reader, but you got to be able to understand what's taking place. So if your person came from a military background where they were changing, or if they came from an unstable home environment, maybe they live with their mama, then they live with their daddy, then they live with their mama, then they live with their aunt. Like, someone who was consistently experiencing change, it creates trauma to the point where they don't want to change. I stayed in relationships way too long because when I grew up, like I was saying, we moved every year. I got so sick of packing houses and moving every year. And then I noticed when I got an adult, I started doing the same thing. And it's not because I had trauma. I was buying and selling a new house every year. Literally. Houses I own. Bought one house, lived in for a year and a half, sold it, bought the next with that money. Lived in that house for maybe a year and a half, 2 years, sold it, bought the next house. At some point, I'm like, why are we doing this? Right? You have to understand how you respond to trauma, though, because guess what? So does your person, but it's a mirror. So perhaps your trauma response was to continue to do that same thing until you heal. Their trauma response is to shut down. This is someone who was shutting down because their response to the changes that took place around them created some type of unhealthy cycle in their life. And all they can understand now is trigger, trigger, trigger. Right? Now, we do got the Lover's Child with the 3 of Wands. All right, the 8 of Wands and the Queen of Swords. This is you. See, when you got in that Queen of Swords energy and you are sure about what it is that you want, and you show up in the world as someone who is happy, someone who is you doing your thing, child. You're not codependent. You're following your purpose with the Chariot at the bottom of the deck. You in your 10 of Pentacles energy. This person is reminded of what home looks like. Like, this energy sent your person right into introspection. Hermit. Right into introspection. When you got honest with this person and said, you know what, you got to make a decision. See, your person knows, right? 2 of Cups, 4 of Wands, that you make them happy. They know that there's a partnership. They even know that this is a soul connection, right? Because the wedding ring card is here. It says soul connection. Your person never questioned the love. That's not what they question. Your person has been sitting in fear of change, y'all. Fear of change, because this is someone who has been through a lot of trauma that came with change. So now this is someone who is planning and having to make some type of decision, because sometimes God has to come down and say, hey, sir, ma'am, I've anointed y'all for this, right? Hey, sir, ma'am, I've anointed y'all for this, right? So now this is someone who's saying, okay, I need to quickly figure out what I'm going to do, because she ain't playing. Queen of Swords. So now what we have here is your purpose, the Chariot and the 10 of Pentacles with the 6 of Cups. So your person began to do some introspection. This is the Hermit, where your person began to examine the shadow and the light side of what's been taking place in their life. God showed this person a vision, and in that vision what they saw was this: you are part of their purpose, you are part of their wealth, and you guys have a past life together, right? 6 of Cups. Y'all have already established this lifetimes ago. Lifetimes. But God had to shine a spotlight on this person to tell them, look, you can't let this overwhelm you. You can't let your emotions overwhelm you. right? You can't let your passions overwhelm you. The reason I'm loving this reading, y'all, is because whoever this is, your person has finally stepped out of the lack mindset. Remember, y'all know we've been following the energy. This is the first reading I've done in a while where I ain't got no damn pentacles out here except for the 10 of pentacles, when this person realized that you are part of their purpose and their legacy. Chariot and the pentacles, right? Their purpose and their legacy. And it was ordained and orchestrated that way as a child. Someone's grandmother is orchestrating this. I just noticed this. I ain't never noticed this on this card. It's an old lady in the background of this card. Yeah, this is the ancestors. I feel like the ancestors put y'all together as children. Someone's grandmother could be significant to your connection, right? Whether they're living or passed on, because I do see an older lady in the background. And I feel like whoever this older lady is too, if this is someone presently in your person's life, whether it's a guide for your person or a relative, somebody told your person that they got to stop doing it all, right? Because they were only burning themselves out. Y'all, 10 of swords, 10 of wands back to back, like back to back. Right? 10 of wands and the 10 of swords. I got Gemini, Sagittarius energy, but 10-10 is ending. We got the death card here. See, this is when your person realized, if I keep going the way that I'm going, I'm never. But I feel like somebody had to tell them this. I see somebody pointing that out. Like, I don't feel like your person came to this realization on their own. Someone is pointing this out or will be pointing this out. Again, these readings are past, present, and future. Because in order for people to understand what in life is holding them back. Example, having this fear of change, having a fear of moving, right? Somebody could now be having a conversation with a therapist or life coaching or something, and now your person is beginning to realize that the reason people get into this energy is because they're not wanting to face what the real problem is, right? When you take on burdens, other people's burdens, to the point where you're overwhelmed, now you feeling betrayed and backstabbed and you just down and out. Why? It's usually because of other people, right? So somebody, your person is now beginning to understand something at a deeper level. I want to get a direct message. Oh yeah, I just got hot all of a sudden, y'all. I was doing fine. Now I'm just getting, woo, child, yeah. The heat, child. The heat and the passion. Hey, it's the weekend energy, y'all. New moon in Cancer. It's emotions, y'all. That's what this is. And for the most part, y'all, this straight passion. This is straight passion and emotion. I got a bunch of wands and cups, right? And the wands are more so than anything. Like, this is someone who is really understanding something at a deeper level. I don't make it up. Y'all know when Spirit be telling me to go get a deck. This is the deck I see. I just flipped the deck out the box. And at the bottom, I told y'all I was hot. I'm over here sweating. Like, what the heck just happened? Like, somebody cut the heat on in here? Child, it says the heat between us is intense. Yeah. The heat between the two of you guys is intense, but this is also someone who was still searching for themselves, right? See, you got to understand, when you meet somebody and there's a lot of passion, right? A lot of desire, you know, and it is, especially if it's your person, it really is. But sometimes the passion is so intense that you and your person both become overwhelmed. The issue becomes divine feminine. You become overwhelmed and you want explanation. Right? You become overwhelmed and you start Googling, you start looking stuff up, you trying to figure out why I feel this way, who is this person, where they came from. Will the divine masculine feel all this passion, and the first thing they do is run the hell away, because they over here like, dang, she got a spell on me? Like, what is going on? Is it the good? Because of the passion, y'all. And this is someone who knew that they had to walk away from you in order to truly find out what this connection really was. See, this is someone who wanted to make sure it was real and that it was lasting. So a lot of times your person didn't want to talk because they weren't sure what was going on. Yeah, the heat between y'all is intense. Intense heat, intense passion. All right. I wish I could be fully honest with you. Okay, well, we finna see. What does this person need to be honest about? What does this person want to be honest about? What does the divine master want to be honest about? Woo, the devil in reverse, child. I can't make it up, with the King of Wands on the bottom of the deck. This was the issue, though. See, and the Four of Wands. Let's talk about it. See, your person wants to be honest with you that they were in their wand energy, meaning passion, y'all. But all of that passion led them to you, but it was a little toxic. Y'all probably have, if you've been intimate with your person, this person thinks about it a lot, like a lot. Like all of these are wands, and I am like sweating over here, and the first damn thing out is the heat between us. See, this person wanted to make sure that there wasn't a dark side to the intimacy. Like, you gotta think, if you ain't never met a divine feminine and you've been intimate and now you dreaming about this person, you thinking about this person, the thought of them get your, you know what I'm talking about? The thought of you get them there, okay? The thought of your perfume get them there. Like, this is someone who has a physical response to you. Every time they see you, you might not know it. You can send this person a text message and they have a physical response to you. The wand, y'all. But this is someone who they thought it was something wrong with it. They had to release their beliefs because they had some type of darker thoughts because of how much passion they felt for you. And it even got to a point where they began to resent how much passion they had for you because they never felt that way before. April 15th could be significant, but this is someone who's never felt that type of passion. So they thought it was a little dark, child. The devil came out. Yeah, but it's your nurturing, the Queen of Cups. So the thing is, your person wants to be honest with you that they weren't sure if maybe it was just great sex. But could it really lead to marriage? Could it really lead to happiness with the Four of Wands, right? But we got the Four of Wands here twice, right? So this is someone who, again, when they met you, they knew that you felt like home. They knew that they wanted a higher level of commitment. Like, your person could have mentioned it earlier as like a joke. They weren't joking, they were dead serious. It's just that when y'all became intimate, if you've been intimate with this person, if not, it's just the very thought of it, right? It's the very thought of it that made this person feel like it was something wrong or something negative about it with the devil. But now your person is understanding it wasn't that. It was the compassion that you showed them, the nurturing. You're coming up as the Queen of Cups. So it's the nurturing, the compassion, the calmness, the healing that you brought to this person. Woo, I just heard the sex is healing. Yeah, it is. You've healed this person in a way that no one else, because you touched their soul. See, when you're intimate with your person, you touch their soul. And see, a lot of times this person had to sit back and reevaluate what it is that they truly wanted in the long term. See, it's easy to meet your person and your emotions high and you feeling good and you blurt out, yeah, girl, I want to give you my last name. Yeah, girl, I want to marry you. But then when the realization sets in that you really do want that, the first thing that says is, oh shit, I need a plan, because I really do want to marry this person. I really do want to be with this person, but I'm not ready. I'm not financially ready. I'm not emotionally ready. And that's when they do what? Take the hell off, running shoes on, bam, boom, they gone. Has nothing to do with you, Queen. Has nothing to do with you. So I always have to tell Divine Feminine, don't be asking me, well, why he not calling or why he ain't got nothing to do with you? If you're doing what it is that God told you to do, then you have to realize it has nothing to do with you. So now here you are over here in your Empress energy, you winning. You celebrating, you with your girlfriends, you tapped in to your intuition. You're living the life that you were meant to live, but that also meant that you had to realize some things about yourself. I want to see what your lesson in this has been. What is the Divine Feminine's lesson? What has been come on, you coming on out. The Strength in reverse, your damn confidence. Your confidence. See, your person always saw you as their rock. See, your person saw you in the strength and the upright. You wasn't necessarily seeing yourself that way, because that's the only time, y'all, where we overgive, we self-sacrifice, and we do things that we don't necessarily want to do, but it's because we doubt. Right? We have self-doubt. It's our own insecurities, and somebody you could struggle with that, right? That could definitely be a struggle of yours. So your lesson in this has a lot to do with your own inner strength and having the ability to walk away, y'all. Let's be clear. Like, having the ability to walk away helps a lot. Like, sometimes people get into that thing where you become such a mother figure or nurturer to your person that you also forget that you have boundaries and standards yourself. And that's when you get, come on, that's when you decided, here we go, right back to it. We got the Six of Swords again on your energy. When you decided to get in that boat and make a decision to do what was best for you with the Lovers. And that's what happened. You realized that you were in an energy that was not Empress energy, because I got the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, and that's the energy that you were in when you decided to take your power back. It was. It was, because at some ways you became codependent on this relationship. You do. Because when you're healing and you're doing the work, you begin to say, wait a minute, damn, I'm finding myself a little jealous, right? What's this conflict, right? Am I smothering this person? Am I requiring too much out of them? So then when you begin to reassess how you begin to show up, that's when you realize, oh, hell no, it's time to cut ties, right? That is how you take your power back. That is how you detach. It's really about you making that decision for yourself to say, you know what? I cannot show up this way. I have stepped off of my throne, and we don't do that. So at the point you realize that something about this has made me kind of step off my throne, you took your power back. And when you did that, guess what? Your person had to realize some things. And when your person looked up and said, you know what? I got to let go of this 10 of swords, this betrayal energy. What's the 10 of swords? What's the 10 of swords in this divine masculine? I heard vultures. Your person got vultures around them. Vultures, people. And it causes them a lot of self-doubt. See, your person has been their own worst inner critic because they keep people around them that are vultures. The only time you keep people around you and you know they're vultures is because it's something that you don't like about yourself. Queen of Wands in reverse as well. So we have karmic energy here as well, right? Someone could be an Aries or a Pisces, karmic feminine energy with the Queen of Wands here, right? Where, oh, this was a okay, thank you. Vultures. And a vulture. What is that? Chris Brown? That's what I just heard. Yeah, your person couldn't recognize that this person around them, this is something they didn't recognize. There's a feminine energy around your person. They may know this now, or they will be coming into the realization of this. See, your person has a lot. It's almost like they were punishing themselves or something, because whoever this person is, they didn't recognize that this person has been causing some type of hindrance. And they've been sowing seeds of self-doubt. Like, this could even be somebody that your person just got advice from. What's the Queen of Wands in reverse with the 6 of Wands in reverse? Whoever this person is, I feel like they could have gave your person advice. Yep, the Death card. I feel this is what's in it. The Death is out here twice, y'all. Death is out here twice on your person's energy. So this is definitely an ending to some type of karmic relationship in their life. And whether this is somebody they're dealing with romantically or just a, mother figure, baby mama, I don't know. But this is definitely someone who, dealing with this person, took a toll on your person's self-confidence. This is their karmic. Why? Because your person is showing up as a King of Wands and this person is the Queen of Wands in reverse. So this is definitely the karmic. Whatever that means, y'all. For some people, it may not even be a person. It could just be a mindset, right? Of lack of confidence, of selfishness, of jealousy, of insecurities, right? So this could be your person's mindset that was causing this energy, right? This is energy, or it could be a physical person that was causing some type of self-doubt within your person and this connection, but your person didn't recognize that at first because of their ego. See, a lot of times people don't recognize stuff just because they don't want to see it. And I tell y'all, divine feminine, ain't no need in telling that man about his mama, his baby mama, it don't matter. It's nothing you can say that's going to get them to recognize that. All you're going to do is have them looking at you crazy. Like, why you trying to break my family? Or why you don't want to do that. You have to be on your high priestess tip. No, but don't say nothing. Pray and let God show them. Why? Because this is someone who did not recognize this karmic energy. And when they did not recognize it, they end up being betrayed. Sometimes you got to let your person get their karma until they recognize what's the cause of the karma. Now you got somebody who's recognizing that the karma and the things, that the delays and all of this stuff that's been going on around them is because of some type of karmic energy. And they had to put an ending to that. June 13th. Could be significant, but now your person is putting some type of ending to that because they understand that it was keeping them stuck. 8 of Swords, trapped, right? So whatever this belief is, again, August the 13th is out here. Hell, that's my birthday, right? So you have to realize August the 20th, shit, that's my daughter's birthday. Maybe this is my reading, y'all. What the hell? No. Right? But I say this to say, y'all, we have to understand that your person is putting also an ending to these negative thoughts, right? This is someone who was really trapped in their head and they were truly unable to see what you were telling them. And that's why I tell you, don't go telling people what you know because God done showed it to you, because you're going to push them away. Why? Because God got to show it to them. You can't be their God. God is their God, right? So you just pray and say, God, can you please show them what is taking place? Can you? And God will. And this is someone who had to take the blinders off. But first it had to be them getting out of their own way first so that they could truly see the people around them. You can't see the people around you until you can see yourself. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. You can't see people around you until you're able to see yourself. And this is someone who had to see themselves first in order to truly see the people around them. All right. This is someone who's really been trapped in their head. A lot of negative thoughts, this is someone who has a victim mentality, but I feel like that comes from that trauma of having to move all the time, or not having a stable foundation, or not having someone they could depend on, right? And that's what led them to be in this Ace of Wands in the reverse energy of the delays. Your person lacked motivation and lacked energy. And a lot of times you may even call it the lack mindset, because I got lack of motivation, lack of energy, lack of passion. But all of this is because they've been weighed down with the Ten of Wands, which is the burden of their past. This is the burden of a past way of thinking. I'm not changing how I move. I'm not doing anything differently. Why? Because when you have to change so much as a child, you hold on to every security that you can as an adult. You know you do. You do the same thing, Divine Feminine. It was things in your life that you held on to much too long. Much too long. Because you were afraid that if you let it go, it was going to cause some type of change that you weren't sure if you were ready for. All right? I'm gonna get you guys some advice. I feel like this energy is changing. You know, it's really, your person is really beginning to understand some things. This is somebody who's walking away from karmic relationships, y'all. They really are, because their ego would not allow them to see that. But now, let me see. What has caused this person to see? What has caused this person to see what's taking place around them? You did. You stepped up in that Queen of Swords energy and said, make a decision. Two of Swords. When you got in this Queen of Swords energy and you gave them that, I'm going to give you that same energy, is what I heard, right? I'm going to give you that same energy. Me and Tina was just talking about that. I'm going to give you that same energy, right? If you feel like this decision is too difficult for you to make and you want to keep weighing your options, then guess what? I'm going to give you that same energy. And when you give them the same energy, then they're forced to make a decision. What's the Two of Swords, Spirit? Yeah, to close that cycle. This is what got you to the Wheel of Fortune, and now we got the Wheel of Fortune out here twice. So you forced this person into making a difficult decision, but it's a decision that's leading them to their destiny, child. This is a turning point in somebody's union. It's inevitable, y'all. It's fate. The Wheel of Fortune is out here twice, right? The Wheel of Fortune is out here twice. When fate is time, it's just time. There's no explanation. It's just time. For somebody, you are really a lot harder on your union than you need to be, because y'all are fine. A lot of these things are just cycles that we have to go through to kind of sift through the energy to continue the healing process. Just because you're with your person don't mean that you're completely healed. So you have to understand it's still a part of the healing process. And whatever it is that you guys have been going through, it's a part of the process. Let me get you guys some advice. It's not advice deck. I love this little deck, y'all. This is one of my very first decks, and I love this deck for advice. It's just wonderful. All right, what is the advice for the collective? What's the advice? All right, transformation. I told you, child, I might have to title this Transformation Weekend, child. Transformation Weekend energy. Something is transforming in this union, and both of y'all want the same thing: engagement, ring, and wedding. This is a higher level of commitment. You need to claim this in the comments, child. If this is your reading, hell, if I show up with a ring on Monday, you know, y'all, right? The king gonna pop the question, what the fuck? Okay, but this is transformation. It says the universe is asking you both to be open to change. It's inevitable, right? So you were open to the fact that I'm gonna let this go if I have to. Let's be clear. That's what you got into that point where you say, you know what, I will cut ties if I have to. But then guess what happened? Your person transform because God stepped in. The wheel of fortune is fate. That's God. God stepped in. And when you step out, you allow God to do what? Step in. All right, what's the next advice? Okay, negligence. All right, negligence. So it says negligent acts stem from past abandonment. What did I tell y'all? See, confirmation. You felt like your person was being negligent. They were being lazy. They were this, they were that. No, this is someone who has abandonment wounds. I said that. So when you move a lot and your mama not there and your daddy not there, you don't want change. You want everything to stay the same because now that's the only thing that you can control. So the negligence, you maybe felt like your person was neglecting you. It's not that they were neglecting you. They were dealing with past abandonment wounds and what? Codependence. But I feel like this is you. I feel like your person has been dealing with this negligent energy, but I feel like you've been a little codependent because you over here trying to figure out what's going on. Well, what's going on? So much so that you begin to give up parts of yourself and you had to take your power back. All right, let's get 2 more for the advice, Spirit. All right, secrets. Yeah, this connection is affected by hidden factors that are unknown and unseen by the other party. Facts, because what did we say? I don't feel like you know about your person's trauma when it comes to this stuff. But then we do have this ego person here where I don't know, the Queen of Wands in reverse. Whoever this person is that's showing up, you may be unaware of who was in the background because I feel like this is someone who's been giving your person bad advice. Like that's what I got. I got that your person, I don't feel like this is love, but I do feel like it's someone who could have been giving your person bad advice on purpose, or it was something dealing in ego. All right. And then your last one is judgment though. Woo, it's going to be a beautiful weekend for somebody because God done stepped in and that's it. When judgment comes, y'all, it's done. A final decision will be made that will bring finality to the current situation. Judgment is here, y'all. God done stepped in. This weekend energy is something serious, child. Y'all gonna have to keep me posted, girl. Let me know in the comments. All right. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can book that on the website. I have loaded the Oshun reading for Divine Feminine, right? We go through your life cycle and I'm using that deck strictly for Divine Feminine readings. Okay. Of course, you know, y'all soulmate twin flame readings are available. Life coaching, guys. It's going so great, y'all. I got a couple people now in life coaching. So thank you guys so much and continue to book, y'all. I want to make sure that we transform together, y'all. That's what it's about. It's partnership, community, and your soul tribe. All right. Love and light as always. The Lady Empath 1111.